Hi, this is Dan. Welcome back. This is iAllegedly. The question I always get the most, there's two. One of them is, how do I advertise my business for free? What's the cheapest way to do it? And number two, how to raise money. Well, we're gonna solve the problem for the first one today with this video. We had the World Marketing Expo, and I had one of my speakers, Lisa Duncanson, who just told her story, and it's amazing. Our first speaker of the day is Lisa Duncanson from Bar None Review, and Lisa has a unique story, and I am absolutely thrilled that she's joining us. But Lisa, slide in just a little closer so you get on camera. Thank you. Lisa's story is very unique in that Lisa, two biggest questions are, Dan, how do I advertise my business for free? And the cheapest way to advertise the business, and how do I get access to capital? Lisa's going to solve the first problem today, and tell everybody a little bit about what you do.
So my name is Lisa Duncanson. I founded and run a bar prep company. So I prepare people to take and pass the California bar. We're actually going national this year, so we'll work in 48 states now. But my background that's been most impactful, I guess, on the business. I started the business in 1999, but I had cancer in 2009, which kind of shut down my business for a little while. Then I rebuilt the business, but what had happened in 2007 is I was one of the early people to get in on blogging. I didn't even know what it was, but I thought, well, I should try it. And someone recommended it to me and recommended that my posts in the blog would have the subject that I'm talking about. And so I did that for, wrote several posts, maybe 20 posts. Then I got sick and spent a year not doing my business. And when I went back and I thought, wow, I had money for advertising. I used to do Google AdWords, and that's how I got students. We did outreach at schools. We did free workshops. And I thought, how am I going to get this back? Because being out of business for 2 years with law students means that they don't even know who you are.
The bar exam is twice a year. It's basically here in California, it's every February and every July on a normal year. And so what happened when you came back after the illness?
So when I came back, I looked at my blog, and I had probably like 3,500 followers when I left it. I didn't write for 15 months. And then suddenly I had 40,000 followers. And the followers, some of them were law schools. So Berkeley, Cal Law, Pepperdine,
all these major
Duke,
law schools from around the country that were following the blog at this point. And everything in the blog, from what I understand, was all free content, free information. You weren't selling anything.
Nope.
It was just how to study.
Right.
Now, everybody, is an expert in their field. And what Lisa does is, she's known as the bar exam guru. And when I got involved with their business 5 years ago, that's when I really got an education on what it takes to pass the bar and to understand what these students go through. So go through.
So in 2015, in 2011, when I started to get my business back, I relied completely on my blog for students. So I started writing posts, and I went from 40,000 views to about almost 1.3 million views now. And so it's not just that these law schools followed me, they quote me they put me as a resource on their resource page for law students and for law graduates. So that's a big deal. And Berkeley, for example, said, although this is a commercial provider, because they don't endorse any bar review company, and so that's a big deal. It was a big deal. So it gave me confidence to come back from an illness and believe that I could rebuild my business, which I did.
But it was all free content. It was all how to study, and it all is searchable. And through that, the blog, through this free, this free program you wrote, and you're a very good writer. So I mean, it's like you write this stuff that does not pertain to people, but it's one of these things that people learn this content for absolutely free. And so what happened in 2015?
2015, I had been in remission for several years from breast cancer, and I had a stage 4 metastatic breast cancer recurrence in 2015. I was told I had a few weeks. That was 2015. I'm still here, so that's awesome for me. And I, somehow, Dan had just come on board to help us with marketing, and we had basically 2 courses. Very personalized course, very expensive, and then a middle of the road kind of course that was also very effective. And Dan started vetting people he's a great salesman and marketer, so we utilized those skills, which was very helpful. It's difficult to sell your own product, so having someone else be the front person. But so he helped us expand to $99 product that everyone could get in on. I mean, if you're spending $200,000 to go to law school, what's another $100? And then they start to, wow, this is really good content, or they don't like it. But if they like it, they come back. I've had people buy these $299 products and then take an $8,000 course 2 years later. And so it's really been effective.
But everything originated and comes from that
Everything.
free blog. barexamguru.com is the name of the blog. And the one thing that I do is Lisa had the illness, so that was the major issue. And when I was brought in, I was like, hey, I can run any business, and I can help you with the marketing. You've got to teach the class. But what I did with her was took what's the least expensive way to market this and to advertise what you're already working and what's working. And Lisa had this great program, and she took that, and through the blog, now she could advertise with the blog because she had a following, because she had over 1 million people that had seen this blog, and she had gotten thousands of people through the bar exam. She then had lower tiered courses and left people wanting. They would buy, a prediction for the bar exam and how to study for the bar exam and a guide.
Let me explain that,
Okay.
if you don't mind. So the predictions, several years ago, I started predicting the essay topics that would be tested. And if you could go to the exam and know what the topics were, that would be amazing. But I thought it was really kind of unseemly, just not okay to just sell predictions. But a friend of mine who's an attorney I went to law school with, she said, why don't you? I mean, you've had such an accuracy. And I said, well, I just, she goes, people would pay for that. So I resisted that for a while. Then I thought, well, what I'm doing for my students who pay the higher ticket value is I don't just give predictions. I've been studying the bar exam for over 20 years, so I know it was tested in 1989 and what repeats. And so I've had a 5 out of 6 essay type of thing. But I put together a predictions email. I started selling it for $299, $299. And the first time I did that, I think I made close to $30,000 in the last 10 days before the bar exam. And everybody thanked me for it. So it wasn't just, here's what I think is going to come up, but if this comes up, here's how it will look. And here are past exams that reflect that. And then I would identify out of the 18 or 20 exams that they should read in the last 10 days before the bar, what they should, if you can't read them all, you must read this one, you must read this one. And so I've become known for that,
Now,
just from the blog.
One other thing is that the bar exam, every state has a high failure rate. And normally, what was it last time? You told me 46%, something like that?
Oh, no, it was, we had a 32% pass rate. The year before, 26% pass rate in California. It's very bad. But they have changed the bar. It used to be 3 days. I know this isn't very fascinating, but back to the marketing and how it's free. So it is pretty much free. It takes your time and effort. I'm very passionate about what I'm doing. So whatever you're doing, as long as you're passionate about it and writing about it with that passion, it's going to work for you. And obviously I have a niche market, but it's very important to have that drive. I love helping people. And I felt like, if I have 40 or 100 students in a live room, which I used to get all the time back in 2015, Dan was there. But I really wanted to bring it to everyone. And so I've had people tell me they passed the bar by studying my blog. And, some of those students become my students, and some of them refer.
It's funny, my attorney read her blog and said, there was a woman that's here in Southern California, and it turns out he had read Lisa's blog to pass it. So there's 15 subjects that are tested in the bar exam, and Lisa writes about these all the time, and people can get study guides and they can get all this stuff. So for free. And regardless of what your business does, the blog is searchable. The blog can be the greatest asset for you, and it can cost you nothing other than your time to generate this great advertising tool that can promote your business. And this is a business that absolutely grew from this free resource. And we have a lot of different size companies that are involved with today. And if you have a staff member, you'd be surprised how many people really want to write and really enjoy writing. And that's the...
I use guest writers too, but mostly it's my content, and I love doing it. And so, people are constantly asking, what are the predictions coming out? And I don't release them to the public because my students, pay a premium for
We
that.
almost missed the most important part. You do zero Google AdWords now.
Oh yeah, I don't spend really any money on advertising.
Okay, so...
It's $99 a year to have a site where you can have video. The domain is $10 or $15 a year. It is amazing what I've been able to accomplish through that. It's such a gift.
And even with the current pandemic situation, now you teach the classes online.
Yes.
You do live streams like this, and sell that through this. And
Yes.
you have what you call your cram session, which is the one class,
Right.
and then you do the full-blown class and can meet with students and things like that online too.
Courses in between. But giving them a taste, and as Dan said, leaving them wanting is really the key. And I never really thought about it that way until you presented it that way. But I used to do, I would spend $5,000 or $8,000 on a hotel room and do a free workshop. And I would have past students come and endorse me, and it was a lot of money. But I love teaching in front of a live audience, and I'll get that.
Okay.
So,
Okay. You have a question?
yeah,
We're gonna unmute.
he has to unmute you. Blog is something I was encouraged to do by a colleague, and I didn't know what the value was going to be. But with having cancer twice, and having to start all over, the first time anyway, was just, I thought, I had $40,000 to do my marketing. That's what I was used to having. And I had nothing, so it was just phenomenal. And I felt so thankful and grateful for the fact that the words I'd written before I was sick had now generated 40,000 views and had, given me some real leverage. And so it's a platform, and it's just so easy. And now they have so many different plugins and so many different things that you can utilize. And I have a web developer who I found, and he's excellent. He actually edits my videos, and we're going to do a lot more. So I have 3 sites. I have barnunreview.com. I have that with a link to my blog. I have barexamcramsession.com, and I have barexamguru.com, and I have a lot of domains. I probably have 80 domains, not as many as Mr. Golka, but so I point those, and I just purchased some in the middle of the night, barexam.expert, so just to be able to point search terms to the blog. So that's, $8 or $15 a year. And considering that I used to spend $10 a click for bar exam back in the day to get students,
This
that's
is one
insane.
thing that I do quite a bit is I will have, I have hundreds of domain names, but I will hear people that will say, oh, my business is Kentucky termites, and pest control. And as ridiculous as that is, you should own the domain for what the search engine is, for what you guys do, because people will punch that in and it will go right to your site. And it's, for me, it's $8.50 a year to have a domain name, and it's the greatest thing you can have. So you cannot have enough of them. You cannot have enough things. It is absolutely the cheapest thing. I met, it's funny, I've interviewed so many speakers, over 100 to attend this event. And there's certain people that have niches, and I asked them, do you have this domain name? Do you have that domain name? And I routinely heard, wow, that's a good idea, I don't have that. So
yeah, this is something Dan really introduced me to. I own a lot of domains now. I just bought 6 last night. I don't buy them all the time, but it's better than buying purses, you know? And I mean, I just, you know, it's very satisfying to, now I know what the search terms are. I really didn't know what they were until I started, you know, with the blog, you get metrics. I don't have that blog yet on Google Metrics because I like the ones that WordPress provides. It'll tell you what part of the country they're in, what part of the world they're in, how much time they spend on the site, pretty much what Google does, but Google Analytics. But it also tells me what search terms, and so now I really know how people find my site. And so the blog obviously promotes my business, and so almost everyone who goes to barnunreview.com, which is where we sell most of our courses from, comes from the blog or referrals. And so they emailed me through that, asking questions. There's a contact page there.
when's the next bar exam?
It'll be supposedly in February, the last Tuesday of the month. So it might run into March.
We're going to close it on this one last thing.
Yes.
What's new for 2021 for your company?
We are expanding. There's something called the Uniform Bar Exam really quickly. It's the same test in 47 states. So Arizona, not New York, not California, they probably will never go to this uniform exam, but most other states have. And so we have prepared materials over a year ago that were ready to go, but with the pandemic, we kind of back down. The bar exam was postponed from July, which is our biggest sign up. More people are taking the July bar. So we're now going to expand nationally. We'll do a trial version in February with maybe 10 students, and then we're going to sell the videos and materials in all 48 of the states.
One thing we did with Lisa was we had her film all of her classes. So students can now buy the video of everything, every course, every subject, and it's absolutely amazing. So
you need to have something that's pandemic and recession proof. I mean, that sounds, you know, like pie in the sky, but with the online applications that we have now, I mean, Zoom's been around for a while, but it's taking off now because of this obvious necessity for it. So nobody wants to go to a conference anymore, certainly not for bar prep. And so I really urge you to get familiar with it. I learned a ton of stuff yesterday when we were preparing for this, and it's just exciting. These are exciting times. I mean, it's depressing as well, but it's very exciting to have this new technology.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Dan.
And I wish you all the success in the world. And
Thank you.
You're one of my success stories, so I was very honored that you said yes to this today.
Thank
so.
you.
Well, thank you, Lisa.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Wasn't that an amazing story? Anyways, thank you so much. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you soon. And thanks for understanding about the videos and the head being turned some of the time. But I will see you guys very soon. Please reach out with any questions. But that was a very amazing story. And no matter where you guys are at with your business, use this blog program to go out and write and grow your business. Look what she did, okay? Good luck. Thank you. See you guys soon.